Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Tessa Lavoie joining us here. Excited to have her. She's the owner and CEO of her own company called Strategic Event Management from Winnipeg, Canada. She's here joining us today live on the show to talk about her full service management program that obviously can help you. Welcome to the show, Tessa. How's it going?
I'm doing really well. How are you doing today, Jill?
I'm doing great. Please introduce yourself to our listeners today.
Definitely. Hi, everyone. My name is Tessa Lavoie, and I am located pretty much right in the middle of Canada in the province Manitoba, and I am the owner of Strategic Event Management. We do everything from conferences, conventions, we've done stadium shows all across North America, so I'm really excited to chat with everyone today.
Wow. Well, this is exciting work you do. I've checked out the website and I urge people to do the same. Would you mind sharing the link for the website?
Definitely. It is strategiceventmgmt.com.
Perfect. And I think it's important before we get to know the company and, of course, all the work that you do and the amazing services you provide. I like getting to know you on a personal level, and I think our listeners do too. It's always good to know who you're working with and
Definitely.
where they came from. So first and foremost, so where are you from originally? And let's talk about your journey in life and how you got here.
Definitely. So I was born and grew up in London, Ontario, so the not as fancy and nice London as we all know.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I was born there, moved to Winnipeg with some family, and grew up there. We have very, very cold weather. We actually just got a snowstorm today, believe it or not. So lots of shoveling today.
Really? When
Yes.
does it end, though? You will have your summer soon, right? You're in your
Oh, we hope.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We're on our third winter, melts, and then we see grass. We think, okay, winter's coming to an end, and then
Yeah.
here comes another storm. So yeah, we've lived in Manitoba for quite some time, and what's lovely about Manitoba is we're very much, I'd say, from the perspective of individuals outside of Canada, a little bit of a hidden gem. We've got some great filming done here, a lot of sets. A lot of the Hallmark movies are actually filmed in Manitoba, funny
I
enough.
was going to ask. I
Yeah.
did read about that. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes. So, and
So
we've got
definitely a picturesque towns you have.
definitely, and it's pretty great. We've got a variety of industries as well, and for those that are tuning in live, I'm sure you know all about the Jets being in the playoffs. I know you can feel the excitement in the air around here for the
Yeah.
Winnipeg Jets. So
Yes.
yes, and then when I went to university, I went to the University of Manitoba, studied in recreation management, specializing in event coordination, and kind of fell in love with
Ah.
everything that way. Loved organizing. The look of a very well organized, color coded alphabetical spreadsheet does something to me internally. I love it. It brings me a lot of joy, and it's transitioned into conferences, conventions. We did our first stadium show last year. It's been amazing.
This is amazing. I mean, congratulations on all your success. I also read you used to be a dancer as well.
Yes, I
Me
did used to be
too.
dancer.
So speaking of events, you're used to performance, big stages and all that, right? So tell
Yes.
me a little about your dance background and wow, did that kind of pursue you to this direction, like the performance of it all? Because I mean, you're these events, people performing is what it is.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but most likely I've everything I did was, the competitive dance kid background, so tap, jazz, ballet, lyrical, a little bit of everything.
Me too. Yeah.
Transitioned into the teaching role for a little bit and still do occasionally. I teach tap, which is fun. So yeah, it's in terms of transitioning into the performance and seeing the backside of it all, from the stage, the setup, the production, the streaming, the related development. I can definitely see some overlap there for sure.
Oh, this is amazing. So, once again, a full service event management company really dedicated to giving you and your business and your company that unforgettable, once in a lifetime experience is what you do. And would you mind just giving us some examples of some of like the companies you're working with? And then also, you're doing these amazing events, huge and small, but also you're doing virtual event coordination too, and worldwide, no less.
Yes. So we've worked with a lot of amazing associations when it comes to conferences, both in person and virtual. transitioning post COVID. We've had the opportunity to help them that way and establish their virtual events, which is great. And they've sticked with us when it comes to
Yeah.
transitioning back to hybrid and in person. I don't think virtual is going to go anywhere, to be completely honest. It's there to stay, especially from an association standpoint, when it
Yeah.
comes to the amount of money you can save, when it comes to the travel, the accommodations, and just overall time getting to and from places. So that side has been absolutely wonderful. And then in terms of the associations that we've worked with, internationally, most of our associations are Canadian, but we have worked with international associations as well. And when it comes to our stage shows, we are doing a youth empowerment event
Well,
for the to celebrate Indigenous culture in Canada, learn about residential schools, and work towards reconciliation as a country, which is amazing.
beautiful. And again, we want to point out here, the strategic event management that you do is worldwide. Yes, you're a Canadian
Yes,
company, but even more so, the reasoning behind why we should be hiring a Canadian company for our event. Would you mind elaborating on that for us?
definitely. I'd say there's a ton of reasons from cultural understanding. Canada is known for being so multicultural, and as a result, as organizations and event coordinators, I find that our companies have a strong reputation for cultural understanding, for sensitivity and adaptability, which is a huge component when it comes to working with especially international speakers,
Yeah.
with multicultural attendees. It's something that I find we have a very strong skill set with. And I'd say one of the reasons that I find a lot of our international clients, one thing they always like to mention, and I don't blame them, it makes total sense, our exchange rate.
Yes.
It's a huge factor. I mean, right now I believe we're for $1 I believe it's 135 Canadian.
Well,
So it's a very favorable exchange rate.
let alone your healthcare system, education system, might I add, which we don't have here in the States. I'm in New York, by the way, on Long Island. But yeah,
Yeah,
wow. Yeah, you got some great stuff in Canada. I've been there a few times. I've been to Vancouver, Montreal. But honestly, I'm dying to see so much more of your land, how beautiful it is, and all that I see on the internet. So I'm going to contact you directly one day because I have a 6 and 8 year
please.
old. I want to come, and I just need, I don't know where to go, what to do. But you're also my travel guide, and you're my event planner when I arrive. Okay.
Sounds great. I've got a daughter of my own, so when it
how,
comes to some kid activities, we
how
can
old?
figure.
How old?
He's gonna be 2 in June.
Oh, yay. I
Yes.
have a 6 and an 8 year old, two little
Yeah,
boys. Congrats. That's amazing. Working
definitely.
moms. Gotta support that. So again, the cultural understanding obviously is there,
Yeah.
the experience and the innovation and the
Yes.
value, as you've been mentioning. Correct. And
Yes.
also professionalism, right? Your team is backed by, you could explain.
Definitely. Yes. So our team, we set high standards when it comes to the professionalism that we want to exude, because we're representing not just ourselves, but we're also representing the variety of organizations and associations that we've worked with, along with the associations that we're hoping to work with. So we're committed to deliver those events in a smooth and seamless fashion. We don't want any hiccups. We don't want any surprises. In events, I'd be lying if I said hiccups and surprises don't happen, because we all know that they do, but our job is to be professional, to resolve those issues as they come up, and really give the appearance as though that hiccup or that surprise never happened.
Awesome. Exciting to talk to you. Also, there's a lot of personalized service involved, and
Yep.
you want to talk a little about technology too?
Definitely. So when it comes to Canadian event coordination companies, we work with a variety of event technologies, from platforms for hybrid events to event apps, management softwares. We have the pleasure of working with a variety of international companies, but we also have a lot of great tech companies within Canada itself. And we've had
Great.
the pleasure of working with a variety of them as well. So it's an important consideration, especially for American companies and associations that are looking to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to event technology. And kind of going back to a previous point with the value for money, when working with Canadian companies with tech, you're getting exceptional service, great product, great technology in Canadian dollars. So there is some savings to be made there.
Great. And what about sustainability?
Definitely. So when it comes to sustainability and, we have an increased focus when it comes to our environmental responsibility, and that is growing, worldwide. And it's something that's important to a variety of associations, companies, and as attendees, we're noticing more and more the importance that the attendee has in recognizing how to minimize their carbon footprint, how to reduce waste. And when it comes to American companies and international companies that are looking to host events that are socially responsible. There's a variety of options out there, but I'd say when it comes, and obviously I'm biased, I'm Canadian, but as a Canadian company, I know that it's something that we take very seriously, and it's something that I see a lot of individuals within our field take very seriously as well.
Awesome. What other aspect did you want to focus on next, Tessa?
Definitely. I mean, strong relationships. I know
Hmm.
that especially when it came to COVID,
Hmm.
we we saw it before, but I see it's even more strongly now, the importance of maintaining and respecting and working collaboratively with the vendors and the individuals within the field and outside of the field. We need to work on ensuring a long-standing presence in the industry, and that is done through mutual support. And so being able to leverage some of the relationships that we've developed and that on both sides we're looking to keep, maintain, it ensures the highest quality of service to our clients and
Hmm.
ensures that when they ask, who do you know? We have those right recommendations to fit their specific needs. So strong relationships when it comes to Canadian event coordination companies. That's definitely something that we have, and a lot of companies and organizations worldwide do, especially post COVID.
Got it. Wow,
Yeah.
thank you. And by the way, let's remind everyone of how we can reach out to you. Would you mind sharing the website, phone number, any social media pages we can look you up on as well?
Definitely. So our website is strategiceventmgmt.com. We're on Facebook, on Instagram. We're a little bit everywhere. So Strategic Event Management, you can find us there. And you can reach out to us via email, info@strategiceventmgmt.com, or via phone at 204-797-2932.
All right. And by the way, I just got to ask, when did you establish the company? What year?
So the company was established in 2018.
Okay.
So we grew, we had a different name, so Planning Companion, and then we've kind of expanded into two different companies with different sub brands. And it's just been amazing and continued growth since then.
And I also read that your husband's your business partner. We're going to meet
Yes.
him eventually too. Could you share a little
Yes.
bit about him? His name's Connor.
Yes, Connor is wonderful. He is very well specialized when it comes to sales and business development. That's
Okay.
definitely his forte. So I know a lot of people are probably looking at me kind of funny, being like, "You're working with your husband?" Big question
That's
mark.
so cool. No, no,
I
no.
love it. I love it. It's wonderful. It's we've been able to really create a strong home work-life balance, and we very much oversee separate departments and work collaboratively as well. So it's been wonderful, and I'm looking forward to having him on the show later on.
Awesome. Exciting. All right. Also, there's still much more to get to. So, we're talking obviously about her event management company and how she can help you. Again, strong relationships you mentioned with Canadian event coordination companies. And let me ask you, you said cross border collaboration, right? So, how does
Yes.
that work?
Definitely. So, in terms of when we think of Canada and individuals are probably thinking of a map, I mean, it's a huge country going all the way up north because of our territory, Nunavut. But the majority, if not all of, like the vast majority of the Canadian population is actually in the bottom, I'd say, eighth of it, just right at the bottom there.
Hmm.
And because of that, we're well positioned to facilitate cross border collaboration just due to the proximity, not just in location, but in population to the United States for our American business practices. So when it comes to being able to navigate the complexity of, international events with ease and
Hmm.
ensuring that seamless and successful experience for clients, because a lot of organizations are looking to continue to expand. It's wonderful all of the different fields, resources, opportunities within the United States. It's absolutely wonderful. But being able to even expand further than that and, you know, touch to your neighbors up north and your neighbors south, it's really important to work with a partner that understands navigating those international complexities with ease.
Awesome. So exciting. And yeah, I'll never forget one time I was, oh my gosh, how many years ago was this? 8 years ago. My mom and I went up, we drove her up to Niagara Falls. We stayed on
Yeah.
the Canadian side and stuff. But I remember, I'll never forget, they were so kind with the Border Patrol. I'm like, oh, oh wow, I feel like Americans aren't as nice. I'm like, but anyway, I was thinking, cross border there for a second, but yeah, always very kind and friendly. I like that about your people. And I have a lot of friends from Canada. And one in particular, I got to ask you, ready? Have you ever
Okay.
been to Victoria Island?
Yes, yes, I have.
I never have. Is it as
It's
beautiful as they
gorgeous.
say? And
Oh,
Vancouver, is that like gorgeous?
it's
Have you
absolutely
done any
gorgeous.
events there?
Yes, we've done some. Vancouver is a very fun place to have events, especially, you know, downtown right at the core. Just do I'm a big foodie, and the variety of restaurants multiculturally is it's amazing. You know, you walk down the street if you're wanting um dumplings, burritos, whatever you're wanting, there's an option and it's so delicious and authentic and the views are stunning. And just outside of the Vancouver core, you know, there's a variety of smaller areas from to really enjoy the nature. The height of the trees just due to the amount of rain is spectacular. I'd say selfishly, one of my favorite trips, which has nothing event related, was going to Nanaimo, BC, which is a small little
Hmm.
area outside, and bungee jumping. It was absolutely
Wow.
amazing. You know, jumping off head first into a river and with the stunning views. It's a beautiful province.
Wow. Can I ask you in particular, what are some of the hotspots for events? Where are corporations, businesses having events? What cities around Canada? Tell me some that are real, like
Yeah.
you just mentioned Vancouver is a big one. What else?
I'd say in terms of our most popular, in terms of busiest areas, would have to be Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal, as well as Ottawa, with the main reason being due to the proximity to some of our largest cities and where they're located in terms of associations.
Okay.
So, but that being said, outside of those areas, even though I'd say that with them being metropolitan larger cities, there's more traction there. Stepping outside of that, you get the same amazing service, the same amazing variety of destinations, highlights, different components. And because you're outside of that tier one metropolitan core, the cost goes down quite a bit. And
Interesting.
in terms of looking at different options, so I know a lot of American partners, you know, you most know about Toronto.
Yeah.
And but what a lot of people may not realize is when you actually land at the Toronto Pearson Airport, you're not technically in Toronto, you're in Mississauga, which is its
Okay.
own smaller community outside of Toronto. Driving distance, 30-minute drive if the traffic's not bad.
Okay.
But just being outside of that core, you get some amazing amenities, great staff, great people, but you're outside
Mm-hmm.
of the tier one area, which means that your cost per attendee from a conference standpoint is
Mm-hmm.
lower than Toronto. So there's different factors, and that's where working with an individual and a company that is Canadian can help guide those
Interesting.
different components
Yeah.
when it comes to site selection and finding the perfect venue to fit your association's needs, your company's needs, and your delegates' needs and their expectations.
Got it. And did you want to share? Could you share some client experiences? I mean, whether you use specifics or not, up to you, but some of the companies you work for, or do you want to share any memorable events and give us some examples of the type of event, management that we're talking about?
Definitely. So in terms, so I've touched on our stadium show when it comes to conferences, conventions. We do a lot of work with Indigenous communities and Indigenous organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So that has allowed for us to have large gatherings of couple thousand individuals and really enjoy both indoor and outdoor from a cultural component, celebrating Indigenous culture, whether it be through drumming, through ceremony, through teachings, and seeing a different side of a different community that, from an events perspective, may not be as upfront
Yeah.
as we're normally used to. So that's
Hmm.
something that I thoroughly enjoy and love doing. And then I like the quirky ones too. The quirky ones are always
Ah,
fun.
yeah.
We had worked with an aviation association, and instead of individuals having a hotel room block, which is really
Okay.
common with events, they wanted to fly in on their own planes, land at the airport, and camp under the wing. And
Ah.
that's where they wanted to stay. So that was different, quirky, and organizing logistics with an airport where people can camp under the wing was a new one, but it was a lot of fun.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Well, we still have some time left in the show. What else do you want to share about your company, Tessa?
I mean, I want to share that the from a international perspective, American perspective, when you're working with an international company, we understand that you're also wanting to support locally. And
Hmm.
we take that very seriously as well when it comes to searching for vendors, when it
Yeah.
comes to
Okay.
working with printers, when it comes to working with different individuals. If you as a company or an organization have a particular preference or you're wanting to work with a particular community, I know we see that a lot with our indigenous clients really wanting to support the indigenous community, and
Yeah.
that's very important and something that we see in Canada outside of that as well, really wanting to support the community. And we listen, we absorb that information as our company strategic event management, and we really are there to support the goals and the perspective that you as the client have. It's your event, your decisions. We're just there to make it easier and help everything move
And
forward.
provide options and provide
Exactly.
amazing customer service because that's what you're known for. Oh my goodness, great reviews out there. Wow. Well, it's exciting, that here as an entrepreneur, you're doing this type of work. Has there been any challenges along the way that you've learned to face, overcome, and learn from? COVID obviously sure being one of them, but
Oh,
managing that.
definitely.
But is there anything else in the business world that's been happening, as far as event management and is it still the post-COVID, the hybrid of the virtual and in person and getting it online and streaming everything as well?
I'd say one of the biggest things that we're noticing and hitting on the events side, which is hitting everywhere throughout North America, is the increased cost of food, of services. Everything is going up,
Yep.
and when it comes to especially associations that have members that are expecting a certain level, let's say pre-COVID, when it comes
Yeah.
to the type of food and different components, it's sometimes hard to manage those expectations
Yep.
and the budget that you have and where prices are now. So I'd say that that is a huge component that, we're, to be honest, completely working through right now. And it's about learning different ways to work around it, different tips and tricks within the industry to maximize your dollar, and utilizing different tools that are out there in order to be more cost efficient. So if it is leaning more on a variety of different technology like AI when it comes to, let's say, writing different contents and bringing forward some different marketing abilities and saving funds that way in order to reallocate them elsewhere in the budget. It's all about figuring out the best balance for you and your organization. And from a budget management perspective, we can definitely assist.
Great. And we still have 2 minutes left in the show, Tessa. I don't want to cut you short. So let's remind everyone of all the ways we can contact you. And I'm assuming you offer an initial consultation. If someone here today is interested in your services, let's explain how that part works. Thank you.
Definitely. So you can reach out to us, find on our website, so strategiceventmgmt.com, via email, info@strategiceventmgmt.com, on social media, Strategic Event Management. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and via phone number as well, 204-797-2932. We do offer a complimentary initial consult, so we'd be more than happy to sit down over Zoom, most likely, and chat about what your event looks like, what your needs may be. And so that way
Yep.
we can work collaboratively together to develop the perfect quote for you. we really value transparency and knowing where every dollar is going within that quote. And so we have everything very clearly itemized to make sure that you feel comfortable where all of your funds are going, and we can reallocate depending on the needs and budget that your company or organization may have.
Beautiful, Tessa. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us, and looking forward to speaking with you again, as well as Connor. In closing today, I just want to thank you for being here and being an awesome guest and host at the same time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, Jill.
Thank you. You too. Thanks so much. Great to see you. Have a fantastic day and an even better weekend. And good luck with your daughter. What's her name?
Lesia.
Lesia. Oh, beautiful. I know
Thank
an
you.
Alessia, but not Lesia. How do you spell it?
Lesia.
Oh, good luck
Yeah.
with her, Mama. Beautiful. More
Thank
than
you.
anything. And then do you do with events? Do you do children events too?
We do. If you are needing some different services that way, we do have a variety of specialists that work with our youth.
Well, I could imagine the parties you're planning for her second birthday, the third. Oh, forget about it.
Yes.
It's good to have a mom and dad in the business for sure. Have a great day, Tessa, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the business.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.